I'm Janet. I run Scars Publications, which does 2 literary magazines. cc&d magazine. We do a monthly book. There's one this month that was released. It's called Salvaging America. How appropriate for the holiday for the 4th of July. Found a haiku in here that read, and this is from an India series of haiku poetry about dealing with being a female in a Muslim community. Feel warmth from the sun, touching legs, shoulders, your skin, unless you're a woman. Because women had to have their shoulders covered, legs were covered all the way to their ankles. When I was there, I'm like, oh, it's winter time and it's only in the low 90s, but I'm wearing pants and shoulders. Okay. I saw a woman dressed in full black garb go for a swim. And I was stunned, just all the fabric and layers and skirts over leggings. It's just
another world.
And then I saw some stranger in a bikini swimming, and I'm like, uh-oh, everybody's looking at her. Yeah. That's going to be an issue. In this, there are a couple poems from performance art sections, and I have 4 different pieces here. This first one's called Electromagnetism. I've studied the science, and I've heard that physicists explain that when 2 solid objects are pressed together, they never actually touch, because electrons repel. All objects remain 1 molecule apart. All that molecules that make us, us, should always be pushing away. But wait a minute, that can't be how it works, because the electricity I feel between us, the magnetism that draws me to you, makes me do anything but repel. And gravity, it can't hold everything together, so all that can explain my attraction to you is this electromagnetism. I'm telling you, it's a fundamental force. All these electron waves are the light waves so that I can see you. The radio waves so that I can hear and sense you. And the heat I sense when I'm close to you. Well, electromagnetism brought it all together. Now, when it comes to the science, know that when the universe first started, electromagnetism is what drew protons and electrons together, and that created any matter in the universe. And all that matter we think is so strong. Your arms when you dip me when we dance, your hands when you hold me tight, your fingertips when they interlock with mine, and we hold each other's hands. Whenever we're walking together in stride, keep in mind that right down to our electrons, microscopically, we're always in a battle to keep ourselves together when our molecules are trying to tear us apart. But this electricity I feel between us, this magnetism that draws me to you, this electromagnetism wins the war. When my heart quickens for you, I know it's the electric signal that causes my heart to beat for you. And when I spring forward to you, it's electromagnetism in action. It's funny how I can use science to succinctly so explain why I need you so. And this is science. This isn't theory, because string theorists may say that we all have been bound to each other because a butterfly beat its wings in Barbados and a sea lion saved her siblings from predators in the Pacific after an Antarctic ice shelf was melting. But I say it's more fundamental than that, right down to my heartbeat, right down to how you infiltrate my senses, right down to this electricity between us, right down to this magnetism we feel. Now that I've found you, I won't fight the laws of nature. The only thing I will ever do is only fight for you. Electromagnetism. I've put on my jacket. I've set about my work. It's the same thing, day after day. I do my work and everything feels heavier. I don't know what is wrong with me. I'm not sick, but I know I'm not well. And I know that there's got to be something I can do about this. I've become so desperate that I inject medicine into me just to keep my pain from staying in me, and so it'll go away. And I continue my work, and the weight grows stronger. Now, I know my soul. I keep things hidden, but otherwise, I'm an open book. I've worn my heart on my sleeve, and I've even kept a tissue when the weight was too strong. My book fills libraries. It's a never-ending epic. I scan the pages, I scour the text, and for the life of me, I can't find what ails me. And as I said, I'm an open book, so someone should be able to break the code of me to figure me out once and for all. And all I get are blank stares because no one else seems to have the answers.
Your offer's ready.
So I continue my work until I realize that my jacket sleeve, my book jacket, that this open book has become the burden. Not because of what I've written, but because the answers may be buried so deep in the reams of the written word that no one will be able to unlock the key to figure out what is truly me. This one I think is fitting for anybody that is new to Austin. This is called Everything Is My Home. I've always thought I was a child of the world. I feed off the energies of the universe. Everything is bound together inextricably, so everything is my home. And nothing is my home. I feel so connected with everything, and at the same time, I feel so isolated. It's sad, feeling lonely in a crowded room. I've shunned the place where I was raised. I avoid ties to my roots because they're not mine. I tell you, atom by atom, I'm a product of stardust. And when I am home, where I am home is everywhere else. And with no home, oh yes, I have 4 walls. I've packed belongings from my past into spaces. But all this time, my roots have searched for ground to seep into, while I remain gasping for air. And now I found a place with you. And when I walk out my door at night, waiting there, right outside my front door, my favorite constellation in the night sky is right there to greet me. And now that I look around in the sky, I can see traces of the past I love in the greenery around my home. For the first time in my life, I can actually cut my own grass, pull my own weeds. I water the seeds we plant in the ground on our land. And I'm wondering if I can finally take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. I've never had roots. I want you to understand this.
President, your offer is ready. 5 count 2. President, your offer is ready.
But I understand if I can, but I wonder if I can actually take my fingers through this dirt, our dirt, on our land. Well, maybe we can get our hands a little dirty and finally have a place that we can call our home.
Yeah.
My uncle was a pilot, and I knew he served in the military, but I don't know him well enough. So I only search for stories of the pilot with the plane of plutonium dropping the fat boy on Nagasaki. Because once you're told to do things, thinking can exit the question, since everyone can fall back on, I was only following orders. Because who needs to question morals when you have blind obedience? My Netherlands proclaimed neutrality at the start of World War II. Germany invaded anyway, and one day after Dutch forces surrendered, Germany then deported the Jews, but not without the help of the Dutch police. You know, the Dutch had one of the highest levels of collaboration with Nazi Germany. Because if you can't beat them, join them and just follow orders. But still, I think of my ancestors, Petronella, Johanna, Houston natives helping in the resistance. They were killed for saving lives. That's what you get for having beliefs and not following orders. And yeah, where I was raised, I did what I was told. I didn't get into trouble. I was a good little girl. But what did that get me? A life of doing what I was told to do until I was left with one war and one voice. But that one voice was only my own. And I no longer had any orders, just this deafening silence in my effort to pick up the pieces so I could be my own person, get my own justice on my own terms, in my own time. And still, I fight. I wonder if the battle will kill me. I just don't know how long I'll be able to fight an uphill battle when the cards are perpetually stacked against me, and I'm left to fight all alone. I will try to do things on my you try to do things on your own, but the political pundits say one thing and the talking heads say another thing. But you gained the brains, and after all this time, you should know by now that you're the one that making the choices now, and you don't have to follow orders anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you.